Welcome to Katie Phillips Scrapbook Designs. I'm Katie. We're going to assemble fin number 2 in the Moonchild album. That's pages 5 through 8. If you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. If you have a question, if I skip over something, please ask in the comment section down below. I post pretty regularly, so hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notified about new videos. And let's jump into the cuts and score marks for page 5. For page 5, we're going to keep it pretty simple. This is the base page, and it's 11 inches wide by 6 inches tall. We're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 6.5 inches, so it has an overall usable footprint of 6 by 6. This piece is going to be a fold-out flap, and on the outside of that flap, we're going to have pockets, and on the inside too. So that's the base page. And then on the inside here, we're going to have a pocket. The dimensions on this pocket are 7 inches tall by 2.5 inches wide. We're going to score the 2.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and the 7 inch side we're going to score at 1/2 inch and 6.5 inches, so it's going to be a pocket that opens this way. And inside this pocket we're going to have a folio, and I've got the folio around here somewhere. I'll find it in a sec. On this side of the flap we're going to have a couple of pockets. So this is, we're going to have a pocket here, and the dimensions on this pocket are 5.5 inches wide by 2.5 inches tall. On the 5.5 inch side we're going to score 1/2 inch and 5 inches, and on the 2.5 inch side we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And then we're going to have another pocket on top of that pocket, and that pocket is going to be, I have a feeling I'm going to have to rotate this. I think it's actually, no, nope, that's correct. It's actually going to open this direction, not that direction. So the dimensions on this is 3 inches wide by 3.5 inches tall. I have a feeling we're going to end up trimming this one off. So be sure and check the description box down below, because that will contain the final cuts for each of these pieces. Nope, this is correct. So it's going to open this way. It's 3.5 inches wide. We're going to score at 1/2 inch, and 3 inches tall. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and 2.5 inches. Then the outer pocket, the outer flap is going to have a pocket, and it's going to open toward the top. It's 5.5 inches wide. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and 5 inches, and 3 inches tall. We're going to score at 1/2 inch. And all of these pockets have mats. We find all the mats. Okay, on the outer pocket, outer flap, we've got this. This mat will go up here, and its dimensions are 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. And then the pocket has a mat, and this one is 4 1/4 by 2 1/4. So that one's going to go right there. Inside, this mat is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 squared. So it's going to go up there. Then we'll have the pockets down here. This mat is 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. And this one is 2 inches by 1 3/4. So it's going to go there. And this mat is 1 3/4 by 5 3/4. It's going to mat the pocket that sits over here. And this mat is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So it's going to sit right there. Let's get started. We're going to score all the cardstock first, and then start with assembly. Oh, I forgot to mention, all of this paper is 65 pound, except for the base. The base is 110 pound. forgot to mention this photo mat. This photo mat is 4x3 and it's just 65-pound cardstock. The insert measurements, this one is 10 inches wide by 5 inches tall, folded in half, and the mat is 4 3/4 squared. This insert is 6 inches wide by 5 inches tall, folded in half, so that's 3 by 5. And the mat is 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. This little insert is 1.5 inches wide by 4 inches, or 1.5 inches tall by 4 inches wide. And the mat for this is 1 1/4 and 3 3/4. And this insert is supposed to be 3 3/4 by 5 inches, but I think I trimmed it a little short on the 3 3/4 side. The mat is 3.5 by 4 3/4. The embellishments here, we've got a tag, and this is crochet thread. The flower is, I used the small tattered florals die from Tim Holtz, and some scraps that I had left over from this paper collection, and this is a cut apart from the collection. These are just some butterfly punches, and this is another piece of the cut aparts and more butterfly punches. The Nuvo Drops that I used on this page are right here. We've got, this is Midnight Blue. This one is Night Sky. These are Calming Aqua. This one is Sugar Plum. These are Violet Galaxy, and this one is Sweet Lilac, I think. Yep, Sweet Lilac. Now we're on to pages 6 and 7, the interior pages for fin number 2. And those two pages are going to mirror each other. And the basic structure for these pages is going to be a double pocket. So we're going to have a pocket on this side and then a pocket down here. The dimensions for this pocket, those are 4 inches wide. We're going to score that at 1/2 inch, and 7 inches tall. We're going to score that at 1/2 inch and 6.5 inches. And then this pocket is 4.5 inches wide. We're going to score that at 1/2 inch and 4 inches, and 3 inches tall. We're going to score that at 1/2 inch. The mats for this page, this is the mat that's going to go over here. It's 3 inches wide by 5 3/4 inches tall. The mat for the top is 3 1/4 inches wide by 4 inches tall. And the mat for this pocket is 2 1/4 inches wide by 3 well, actually it's going to be 3 1/4 inches wide by 2 1/4 inches tall. And we've got two inserts. This is 110-pound cardstock. It's 5 inches squared, and this mat is 4 3/4 inches squared. And this insert is 3 inches wide by 5 inches tall, and the mat for this is 2 3/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. So you'll need 2 of each of these to complete both pages. Also, the pocket paperweights, those are 65 pounds. noticed while I was putting together page 7 that there's a 1/2 inch flap here on the outside of the page. This flap is where we're going to attach an envelope to page number 8. So let's go over all the cuts and scores, and then I'm going to break out the craft knife and self-healing mat to make all the little slices for the envelope. Y'all just ignore the grungy self-healing mat. It's 20 years old or so, and I'm not even exaggerating. So let's talk about the different cuts. So here's the envelope, at least the page that we're going to fold into an envelope. The dimensions on this is 6.5 inches wide, and we're gonna score that at 1 3/4 and 4 3/4, and it's 8 inches tall. We're gonna score that at 1/2 inch and 6.5 inches, and we're gonna have to make a couple of slices and stuff with a craft knife. And on the base, we're gonna have a couple of photo mats. These are gonna be 3 inches wide by 2.5 inches tall. We're going to score the 2.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, so it's going to be a 3x2 photo mat. We've got 3 of those, and they're going to go down like that. And then on the back side of the envelope, it'll be pretty flat, and we're just going to have a couple of photo mats. These photo mats are 1.5 inches by 2 inches, so teeny tiny little photos, but we're going to leave room for some journaling on there. So let's get started by scoring and slicing the envelope and getting the envelope formed and attached. Oh, I forgot to go over the mats, all the different mats. So this is the mat for the base page, and it is 5 3/4 squared. This is the mat that's going to go on the flat side of the envelope, and it's 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. These are the mats that are going to go on the other side of the envelope, and they are 1.5 inches by 5 3/4. This is the mat that's going to go on the top flap of the envelope, and it is 2 3/4 inches wide by 1 3/4 inches tall. And we've got, this is going to be there's going to be a piece that folds up from the bottom of the envelope. This is the mat for that, and it is 2 3/4 inches wide, and I believe it's 3/8 of an inch tall. This is going to be in case we end up doing a gusset. I'm not sure. And these are going to be for the photo mats on the base page. They are, how wide are they? They're 1/2 inch tall and 3 inches wide. So let's get started with the scoring and the slicing and putting the envelope together and getting it attached to the base page. challenging. Y'all probably saw that I was using a pencil to mark where the cuts needed to intersect with the sides of the pattern paper. And after I got it all put together, I realized that I did not create, and I may have to redo this because I think the glue was still wet. Was it? I'm looking at it here. I'm not real sure what's going on. But I should have gone ahead and punched this before I put it in the album. Well, before I even glued it all together, I probably should have tried to find a way to punch this to add this element so that we could close the envelope. But I think the glue might still have been wet. What I did was I took a piece of chipboard and punched basically a cylinder and used that to mount the disc. This is a 1-inch circle punch, and glued a Nuvo drop on top of that. What else? Oh, the inserts that I put in here. So the inserts in here, let me get them out. These are 5.5 inches tall by 2 inches wide, and the mats are 1 3/4 wide by 5 1/4 inches tall. And it just needed a little bit of extra pop, so I went over a couple of areas like the butterflies and this little planet here with Wink Estella just to give it a little extra sparkle. And of course, gel pen. And then I think if I was going to do this over again, I probably would have attached the flap inside here instead of on the outside. That would eliminate the need for a gusset. But this white strip just looked too bare, so yeah, I'm not sure. That's about 1/8 of an inch wide, and I'm not sure how tall it is. I cut in about 1/2 inch from the top and the bottom, so that's probably around 4 3/4 inches tall. And then just glued everything in, added the mats for the gussets and the binding. These mats are 3/8 of an inch wide by 5 3/4 of an inch tall. Next week, we're gonna do page number 9. It's gonna be fairly simple. It's gonna have a little waterfall on it. And page number 12 is gonna have another shaker element. And again, the shaker element is gonna be part of the closure, but we're gonna do it a little bit differently this time. Be sure you hit that subscribe button and come back for the next video. See you later.